everyone. I thought today, instead of filming a video like I normally do, I mean I haven't for a long time, but normally do, of my day and me doing things with little bits throughout of me kind of running my mouth and talking about whatever I want to. I thought I would just talk for the whole thing instead, because I'll be honest, that is my favourite part anyway. I'm really conscious of where I've parked. I've parked at the weirdest angle parking ever, but there's like no one here, so I thought it doesn't matter. The lighting was better here, and it's raining, so no one's really out. I thought I would talk about recently how I've been feeling. I thought we'd have a therapy session. I'm kidding. Don't worry, no one would be. Don't look at my nails. I've had acrylics for quite a long time now, and I decided that I could and should probably put my money to better use at the moment. So I kind of ripped them off, and now I've damaged all of my nails and they look disgusting, but I'm gonna try and grow them out, so let's just not look at them. Yeah, I thought I would talk about, I've been feeling kind of like burnt out recently, in the sense of me checking if you can see my nails. You can't. Cool. In the sense of like, I have a really small social battery, and I think I always have. I would say I'm fairly introverted. I'm quite confident and chatty with people, but my social battery like runs out pretty fast. Other than obviously with like a small handful of people that don't really drain me, like my mum, for example. Like, I could sit and talk to my mum for hours because it's my mum, but like if I'm meeting friends, usually 2 hours is usually my limit of like, I kind of want to go home now and I don't really know how to leave. Don't really want to offend anyone, but like my bed sounds really good right now. But I also love spending time by myself. Like, I genuinely enjoy it. I genuinely have a lot of fun doing things by myself. It's rare that I will be doing something and think this would be better if someone was with me. And I don't know, like, sometimes I feel like that's weird or that's like wrong, but I just feel like I've had it in my head that like it's almost like the amount of time I spend by myself I'm fine with. I love spending time by myself, and to be honest, people, and this is not people's fault, this is not a bad thing, but I just get quite easily drained by people and by being social, and it's very rare for me to find someone that instead of drains me actually like energizes me and I'm having fun and like want to stay out with them. That's rare that I find someone I feel like that with. I feel like for a long time I've kind of made myself make plans more than I would want to if it were up to me, which is stupid because it is up to me, but like I've had this problem for a while where like I book in like different social things throughout my week, and then when it comes to them I can't think of anything worse than going to it. And I'm really glad that I feel like this is becoming kind of talked about more. I feel like I'm seeing on like Instagram and stuff, people kind of romanticizing being by yourself. I feel like a reason that I've been feeling kind of burnt out is because I recently had like a week or so, or a few days, where I feel like I was just quite busy. I was working and I was socializing and I was seeing people and I was doing things. And I'm someone who needs a lot of alone time. And I've always known that. But I feel like I'm realizing, why did I say that so weird? I feel like I'm realizing quite how much time I need by myself in order to properly like enjoy all the aspects of my life. Because if I'm feeling burnt out and I'm feeling drained, which I quite often do, I don't enjoy my day-to-day as much. Whereas when I'm spending the amount of time by myself that I actually want to, and I'm kind of listening to my intuition a bit, and I'm not pushing myself to socialize when I don't want to. I'm not pushing myself to stay in when I don't want to. I'm just like listening to myself and doing what feels right. Then I obviously don't feel burnt out then. Yeah, I feel like that's when I don't feel burnt out, because then obviously I'm kind of honoring my feelings and my needs, and there would be no cause to feel burnout. And I feel like everyone does get drained, and that's normal. but I feel like the amount that I feel drained it's too much. I guess recently I've just been thinking like, okay, what is it that's like stopping me from just doing what I want to do? If you know what I mean, like why is it that I keep putting myself in situations that, like, you know, I wouldn't initiate doing, but I just feel like I found myself in another social situation, or found myself in another thing that I'm like, when can I go home? And it's like, the amount of times I think like, why come to something if you're going to be that excited to leave it? Like, you clearly don't want to go that much. Like, and I think a reason for it, this dog is really cute, I think a reason for it is I feel like it's weird or wrong to enjoy spending as much time by myself as I do. Most people I see enjoy socializing, and then I'm like, I should probably go and just do what they're doing. But everyone is different, and something that I am enjoying about social media at the moment is I feel like it's started to romanticize the staying in rather than going out, and the doing things by yourself. And it's just like the little things, see things like when someone like cancels your plans and you're just like getting back into bed and you're like, didn't want to go anyway. Like, I love that, because I'm like, that is how I feel a lot of the time. But people, I feel like in the past, haven't really talked about that, and it's felt more normal to be a bit more extroverted, whereas now I feel like I'm seeing a lot of introverted things on my Instagram. Maybe that's just catered to me. I've never thought about that. Maybe it's just because that's what I'm seeing, because that's what I'm like. That would make sense, actually. And I think because I'm someone who struggles with anxiety quite a lot, I just feel way more comfortable when I can just like do what I want. And when there's someone there, like when I'm with a friend, I quite often feel like, okay, well, I don't have that option because I'm with someone, and like it's gonna be an inconvenience if I'm just like, oh, I feel like going home right now, let's just drive home. Like, I can't do that if I'm with someone. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when you're with yourself, you never have to be uncomfortable, because the second you are, you can do something about it. But the thing is, you can do that when you're with people too. Like, I don't think it would hurt many people's feelings if you said you were tired and you wanted to go home and you were nice about it. But I am so bad at saying that I stay way longer than I would want to, and I wait until they want to go. I don't know why I do that to myself, because then it's like, no wonder you kind of don't enjoy socializing, because half the time you're not like, you're making it uncomfortable for yourself. No one's making me stay past the point I want to stay. And I even have friends that have been like, if you want to go, just like let me know. Like, I know you have work in the morning or something, and I'm like, yeah, no worries. And then I just sit there like exhausted for hours, like, oh my god, when are they gonna drop me home? And it's like, just say it then, like that's your fault. But I think it comes back to the, like, I feel like it's bad. I feel like it's selfish. I don't know if I feel like it's selfish. I just feel like it's weird. I think I just feel like it's weird. I feel like when I'm listening to myself and I'm doing what feels good, and I'm not constantly pushing myself and meet people, and it's not even just social things. Sometimes it's just like all manner of things that I'm doing that I'm like, I don't want to do this, so why am I doing this? Don't get me wrong, sometimes in life you have to do things you don't want to do, and you do have to push yourself to do things. Like, you can't just do what you want all the time, and I know that. But when it comes to the optional things, like going out for a lunch with a friend on a day off, like, you don't have to do that. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I do want to do that, but I'm just kind of questioning why, when I know deep down, like, I don't really want to do that, and I know if I say yes to this, when it comes around, I'm not going to want to do that. Why do it? When I'm my happiest, it's when I'm really looking after myself, obviously. And it does include being social, because I don't think it's healthy to be completely isolated, obviously. I think it's about having a balance, but everyone's balance looks different. And I think that is what I'm coming to realize, is that you need a balance between being social and not being social. Neither end of the spectrum are going to be good for you. Being too isolated leaves you in your thoughts too much. You know, you kind of obsess over your own experience too much, and you forget that there's, like, it's not all about you, and it's quite easy to become just quite out of touch, I think. But I think if you socialize too much, there's a lot wrong with that too that can be harmful. Like, I think I find it really hard to stay present when I'm being social quite a lot, because I feel like time alone for me grounds me. And this is just me personally. Like, I know that if you're more extroverted, social time energizes you. It's great to be energized by being social, like, go you. But I sound like I'm like angry at people that want to see people. I'm not. I think do whatever feels right to you. I'm just kind of thinking about what genuinely feels right to me, because I also was a people pleaser for honestly as long as I can remember. I feel like I started working on my people pleasing tendencies in the last year or two. I started being like, look, this is not, like, I'm not having fun. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by dogs. And I feel like, yeah, for me, like, I was massively a people pleaser for so long, and it was just completely impossible for me to honor my own needs over someone else's, because that just felt literally illegal. Like, I was like, there's no chance I'm doing that. And I'm a lot better at that now. Like, if I don't want to do something, I can force myself to spit out the words no. Like, I'm getting there. I'm not great at it. Like, it definitely needs work. But I do think that is maybe linked to, like, what I'm talking about, because I don't want to say no if someone's like, do you want to go for food? Do you want to go for a drink? I'm like, oh, that's kind of mean to say no, but, like, it's not mean. Do you know what I mean? It's not mean. And I would not care if someone said no to me. And honestly, I'd rather them say no if they don't fancy it than force themselves to come out and meet me and sit there waiting to go home. Like, that's almost disrespectful of my time. So it's also disrespectful of theirs. I feel like that's a good way to look at it, because then I don't feel so bad. I'm like, I'm actually being nicer by saying, no, I don't want to fucking see you. Like, I'm so kind of for saying that. Like, I feel like the mix of being someone who needs a lot of time by themselves and gets quite drained from having too many things on their plate, that mixed with being quite an anxious person, a very anxious person, to be honest, put them together, and, like, I need to be listening to myself, otherwise I'm not going to enjoy my life. Like, I need to be doing that, and everyone should be doing what they want to do, really, you know? It's your life, do what you want. Don't harm people or upset, I mean, you're going to upset people, but you know what I mean. But to an extent, you should be quite selfish with your time, I think, a lot of the time. Anyway, I'm so cautious of, like, sounding like a bitch, but, like, my message here is, what the fuck is my message? My message, I have no message. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm literally just trying to work out my own shit, pretty much. I'm just trauma dumping. No, I'm not. Anyway, what was my point? Yeah, I just feel like mixing those two together, if I do feel drained and I feel like I'm doing all these things that, like, don't really align with what I want to do, and I'm kind of just pushing myself, and I feel like I'm spreading myself too thin, which I very easily start to feel like, my anxiety gets a lot worse because I'm not present. Therefore, I can't be looking after myself if I'm not present. So it's like, the only way for me to really be happy and enjoy my time is to be finding that balance that works for me. Whether that's seeing a friend once a week, seeing a friend twice a week. And maybe that's all I need to fill up my social. I always think of it like, you know, in Sims, love Sims, they all have their individual, like, little tanks for their mood, like hunger, thirst, social, sleep. And once it runs down too much, they like start complaining. And then you have to go and like fill it up. My social thing might be full from seeing 2 people a week. Someone else's might need like 5, 6. That is insane to me, but it's true. Like, everyone's so different. Do what makes you happy. It's none of my business what other people do. So it's kind of weird that I'm aware of that. Yeah, I still think people think I'm weird for spending so much time by myself, which I honestly, no one's even said that to me ever, I think. My hair looks so ratty and gross today. I'm so sorry. I've had a few people say to me, like, they're not trying to be mean, they're just probably a little bit like not thinking. I've had a few people say things like, oh my god, like, I saw you went for lunch by yourself, so I thought that was like so cute. And I'm like, okay. Like, it almost sounds a bit like, oh, it's so cute that, like, even though no one would go with you, you still powered through and you went. And I'm just like, okay. Like, I have a great time having lunch by myself. If I'm done, I just go. If I want to get another drink and stay another hour, I'll just do that. It's my time, bitch. I'm on my clock. No one else. There's no one to consider here. I can be as selfish as I want. Maybe I just really am a selfish person, and when other people are involved, I have to think about them, and I don't want to do that. No, I'm kidding. I don't think that's true. I feel like time flies, and not in a good way, when I'm doing all these things that I like don't necessarily want to be doing. I feel like time passes me by massively, and I'm like, oh my god, it's been a fucking month, and like I haven't felt like grounded once because I've been doing this and I've been meeting these people, and I felt bad about not doing this, so I did this, and then and it's just like, oh my god, what do you want? Like, what do you want to do? Because life is short, and I'm literally 20. I don't want to spend my 20s burnt out crying. Like, that doesn't sound like a hoot, I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm gonna go and get my coffee and pastry now. I don't really know where to go because the weather is gross. I wonder if I can keep my phone there while I drive, or is that just gonna fall off? I'm going to leave now because I actually think I paid for an hour, and I don't know how long I've just spoken for. So I may or may not have stayed for longer than an hour. I'm driving into the entrance. Let's go out the exit. That's probably better, isn't it? This is a really great angle. I think I might go to, there's a beach cafe. Is this legal? Surely, I'm not touching my phone. There's a beach cafe that does really nice iced coffee and cake. I'm like an 8-year-old. I have a day off and I'm like, let's go get a slice of cake and read the newspaper. I'm kidding, I don't read the newspaper. I've actually never touched a newspaper in my life, I don't think. I mean, that's not true. I used them for arts and crafts when I was younger, but that's about it. I really hope the cafe's open that I'm going to, because... Ooh. Was that my brakes? Sometimes when the weather's bad, they shut the beach cafes, I think, because they think no one's gonna come. But little do they know, there's little grandmas like me who want a slice of cake on a rainy day. This is kind of like a podcast vibe, let's be honest. Like, what am I actually doing other than talking? Nothing. And I would love nothing more than to have a podcast. Why don't I just start a podcast then? I don't know. Had to parallel park and I nearly threw up. That was a tight one. Right, let's go and get a coffee. It was open up, wasn't it? Hello. It is so rainy. It was completely fine. I don't think it was really raining the whole time I was parked before. The second I get out to get my coffee, and what? Iced oat latte. Delicious. Does not have a lid, so I really hope it doesn't go everywhere in my car. wet bag of cake. I kind of wanted like a croissant or whatever you want to say, but they didn't have any, so I got pistachio and rose cake. It's thick. This is what makes me happy. A little coffee, a little cake. I'm having a great day. I do think I'm easily pleased, which is good. I like that about myself. Like, it doesn't take much for me to have a great day. There's a restaurant near me that does pizza with burrata on it, and I literally am having dreams about burrata at the moment. It's like, I'm really having a burrata phase. I love it. I might actually go buy some. I might do that. Anyway, I might go to that pizza restaurant tonight. Depending on the weather. And if I can be bothered. Bye. What the fuck was this video?